I watch matches every weekend. I help run a football club and a development school, and these same things frustrate me every single week. I'll talk specifically about grassroots football here in the UK, from age 6 through to sort of adult years, right? And generally speaking, the people that coach these grassroots teams don't want anything from it apart from the love of the game, and there's good intentions. The issue, my dog's pulling because he wants to get to the field where we're going to throw the ball. The issue that I see week in, week out, as I said, it's good intentions, but wrong implementation. And these are people, generally volunteers, and there's a lot of great volunteers we have at our own club that run teams, and a lot of them, they all do a good job, really. But we all get carried away. I've got carried away when you get in the moment of a football game, in a match, where you kind of emotion takes over. And all I would say is, what can you do, what can you do to park emotion and stop thinking about you and think about them? So if you're a coach, what's the best thing you can do at kickoff time during a match? Well, nothing. Don't do anything. Let them play. Now, set up the game. Let's talk about setup. You've had training in the week. That's where you set up the things that you want to achieve for the match, if that's what you're going to do as a team. Generally speaking, you'll train, you'll have a match on the weekend. So you should have done the core stuff of what you're trying to learn and develop at the training session. Now, when you get to the match, you've got that 45 minutes or so before kickoff to plan and coach still. So this is really important to implement what you want to do as a coach. But when it's kickoff time, don't do anything. Let them play. You've set up the team, you've set up the formation, and now it's a case of let them play. Now, you might see something after 2 seconds, you might see something after 2 minutes, but just let them play. Observe. Be the analytical observer. And I'm not saying write stuff down at the beginning. I'm saying just watch the game. Get a feel for the game. Get a feel for, get a feel for the game and everything that's happening. Is your team starting how you set them out? Formation-wise, how are they looking in and out of possession? What's the opposition doing? What's their tactics? Again, in and out of possession, because every team's slightly different shape in different phases of play. And just observe what's happening in the game. And then throughout the game, maybe you then start to take some notes because you see patterns, you see things that are happening that are reoccurring. And this is where you really want to kind of perhaps make notes of how you implement changes at halftime, for example. Now, am I saying we can't call out during the game? Of course not. But it should be really encouragement as a priority, especially in youth football, right? Now, if you need to implement changes, nudges are fine, but you tell me the difference between a nudge and a tell. And I've said this before, but tells often become yells. And I just don't think it has a place in grassroots football, especially at some of the games that I witnessed where it's really like, we're talking under 7s, under 8 football here some of the time. And it can't be good for anyone. And I say anyone, it can't be good for the coach, but come on. I'm talking about the kids. It cannot be good for the kids to get constantly barked at during a match. So let's trim things back. Let's get back to basics. Let's be in a situation where we can coach the game in the right way, let them play. Of course, make notes when you need to, but just start the game by watching. Start the game by observing. Just start it in a way where you're actually watching a game of football. Because as much as we want to win, and it feels better to win than lose, in youth development, it's not the result that gets the development. Results come from development. Now, what I would suggest is the next time you're at a match, put your phone on, you can keep it in your pocket near you, and press record on your voice note app. And play it back at the end of the match. Be honest with yourself. Is that really how you want to sound? Are you coaching or are you yelling and telling? And what you can do, you can transcribe it, can't you? You can get the notes from your app and you can break down the notes from the game that you've shouted out, and you can put it into AI and break down the constructive parts, break down the less than constructive parts. And from that, develop your own game, develop your own coaching. So give it a try. And in the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about sort of analysis of a game. We'll break it down on a board. We'll break down how we can coach during the game, how we can coach in detail. And let me know what you think. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. I'd be keen to know. See you in the next one.